In my job here, I am an employability officer here in the disability service. In short, that really means that I work with a lot of third and final year students preparing for that transition to the workplace, and I also work with our team lead on the inclusive internship program every summer. And alongside that, I'm also a disability officer, so I work on meeting and supporting students who are newly registered to us, who might be at the end of their degree, who are freshers, to just help out and get registered with us and have a needs assessment and get their accommodations in place. If I had to tell someone one thing about the DS, I'd probably tell them not to, put barriers in place for themselves about coming. I think anything to do with, medical experiences, maybe diagnostic assessments, things like that, they take such a length of time and they can feel like you need to have everything absolutely together and in a row before you are able to register with the disability service. Instead, I would say to come into the disability service and have a chat about what you're struggling with. Even if you don't have a diagnosis yet, even if you're still figuring things out, you might be experiencing fatigue for a health related reason you haven't figured out yet. You might be undergoing investigation for something. You might be pursuing an assessment, for ADHD, autism, something along those lines. Regardless, I wouldn't put barriers or timelines in place for yourself. I would instead come, have a conversation with us and see if we can support you anyway, because the reality is no one's disability journey really begins at diagnosis. It never really does. It always kind of has come from sometimes quite a long journey beforehand. So don't feel like you're not welcome just because you're not super solid on where you are in that yet. I wanted to work in the disability service here because I suppose I used a disability service when I was in university, and it was essentially, I suppose there's no other way to describe it, but life-changing for me. And I didn't have any of my medical stuff figured out at that point. So I went and got support for things I didn't even have a diagnosis for. I had the symptoms and I had traits, but I had nothing on paper. But I received such crucial support, which was exam support. There was also just having somewhere to go and to talk to. I really, really wanted to be that space for those individuals. And Trinity as a campus is something that I find very, very soothing. It's a space I like to be. Academic environments really suit me. So to me, this kind of brought together two of those worlds where I could potentially make as much of a difference as somebody had on my life, whilst being in an environment that is quite soothing to my nervous system.